I need to work on my improv skills. This is not what I was expecting. I was expecting rape and dungeons. Instead, I got radiant beauty. Instead of rape and dungeon, we got radiant dumplings. Yeah. Dimples. Oh god. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking the side of the solitary figure, taking center stage of the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway, staring at the beautiful girl. The sunlight radiates off her hairs, bouncing into my eyes, giving me the illusion of peacefulness and calmness that temporarily blinds me, allowing me to be like the girl that I temporarily see in my eyes. Does she know how beautiful she is? Can she understand? I don't know that she's blind yet, so what the hell am I talking about? Evidently, having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup, opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me, for she does not know where I stand. Hello there. May I help you? Staring directly in front of herself, the movements of her lips seem to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me that she's being separate from the room itself. She is her own being. I think I discussed this before. Of course she's separate from the room itself. She's not a room. She's not an object. She's a person. She's just here. Not only is she the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even among the foreigners I met, she's strikingly distinct. Something about her lustrous, forbidden beauty. Hi. Sorry for intruding. I was just kind of lost. I'm looking for a library for people who can see because of books and their visuals, and I can read them. I'm not blind like you. It takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if she's carefully choreographed it beforehand. Care to take a seat? The wavy-haired girl. Unexpected, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks. You're very friendly. I slowly step towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and the saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track my movements with her head is telling. That and the slightly cloudiness in her eyes means that she must be likely partially blind, like Kenji, although she probably doesn't believe in the feminist male conspiracy agenda. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't even have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes off me, slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. You know, people who are very confident, they make the situation very comfortable, but they fuck up those who are really not confident and shy because they're overconfident and like, I'm good and everything's okay. You know, they just fuck around. Like, they're so perfect and everything, you're like, oh god, I want to be like them. Now, I'll say, I'm not the most, whatchamacallit, not the most outgoing guy in real life. I'm a bit shy when it comes to meeting people, especially new people. And I know someone who's very confident. He's like the man. He's the fucking man, bro. And that's, you know, he knows it too. Whether or not he's actually the man, I have no idea. But he gives off the illusion that he is, and he gives off that air of being above someone, not necessarily snarky or cocky, but just that super fucking confident in everything he does. And it makes you a little, like, off guard because you don't know how to handle it. But anyway, he's pretty cool. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office where they're trying to kill me and yet she wants to invite me in. It's something about this girl that I love. The calming atmosphere is so very different from the student council office. I take it you're a new student to Yamaku. Well, no, you've just never seen me before because I'm a sneaky kind of guy. Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I get the distinct feeling my speech patterns don't match the formality of hers, accentuated by her restrained bow of greeting, one which I hasten to match before realizing the futility of the action. For those not realizing why it's futile, she can't see the bow, although she could probably sense the bow. You ever close your eyes and you just sense what someone's doing? Like, I don't know, I can close my eyes and I can sense if someone's giving me the fucking finger. I'm aware of this. It's like a sixth sense in terms of getting, you know, people pissed off at me. I visualize it quite well. Her eyes are so blue, like the deep pools of love, as I penetrate the oceans below. I'm Lily Satao. Pleased to meet you. Hasao Nakai. One cool, cold motherfucker. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure, just don't be careful. As much as it pains me, I can't keep step with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off the chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid along a shelf. Brush here, a brush there. Her left hand often slightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. Seems to be the process she's followed dozens of times before. Well, I must say, although I'm not blind, I too have the process of a ninja. Not necessarily, but when you have a disability, I would think processes and different, patterns are something you would follow. For example, I think I've said this before, there's a blind kid in my school, kind of like Lily, although he's a guy and I don't find him attractive at all, but again, he's a guy, and he's blind, yet he walks to class every single day. I see him go from the parking lot all the way to class, across campus, and I wonder, I'm like, how does he do that? And for a second I feel bad that no one else helps him, but then I'm like, he probably wouldn't want help. He probably appreciates the independence he has, and he knows that he doesn't need help and he could do whatever he can do on his own, and that this is his way of just getting out, and that he doesn't need people's help. But I can't fathom the fact that he can just literally go from the parking lot all the way to campus without, getting killed. But that's why I think routines and processes are important. He probably knows the routine. He knows everyone else's routine. He's probably like a super spy or something like that. Or like the kid 2 years ago who was taking accounting 101 and did better than everyone else in the class, and he was blind. The kid was blind, yet he was so goddamn intelligent. Although I felt bad when he couldn't understand it, because accounting is very visual. You need to see the numbers and everything. And he had a program that would articulate what was on his screen, but I couldn't get it. But his hearing was phenomenal. He had a program that would actually, it would speak what the computer screen said, or what it was showing, and it would speak like, it would just literally go that fast, and he'd pick it up. So no one else was able to understand what, he was listening to or what he was on his screen, but he was. Kind of think of it, he always had the screen down as well. I mean, I guess you don't really have to look at the screen. Maybe he was listening to, porn fan fictions, the penis was really big, and it was all over her face, and she totally correctly. And then no one else would understand, but maybe he was being dirty. Maybe that's why he was always smiling. No, but it always fascinates me, because I don't know how to approach situations like that, because I'm really fucking awkward. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty finger to measure the right amount of water in the cup. Yeah, I know you're fucking staring at her ass. Don't worry, I would too. It's one of the things to see different disabilities the students in my class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shoujo and Misha have no problem working together to communicate to me. Lily herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to be following the correct process of the offer or preparing the drink. So, may I do terrible things to you while you stand there in gratitude? Her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Shizuna, some classmates told me it was on this floor, and I was a little confused, but then I found you, and you're beautiful, and I didn't know what I was supposed to do. She finishes pouring the water into the teacup as she nods, a small metallic tapping coming from the teacup indicating it's being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamachi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? Yeah, that's right. I'm in the science room with Matao. Matao! He's a cool guy. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. He's quite a character. I imagine you'll come to like him. Most do. I begin to like him already. I feel like we're sitting off-centered here. I don't feel comfortable. I feel like I'm too much in the background. She's too much in the foreground. She's close and observant. And I'm bleh. See, she's not a part of the room. I feel like I'm a part of the room. It's weird. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but she seems like a rather bad moment to bring it up. Nonetheless, the smells quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke down. Hey, it's tea, man. You throw some lemon in that, and you throw some honey, and you're good to go, man. I actually like tea with honey. Gets a little thick, and it's really enjoyable. That sounded weird. Like I said, I like tea and honey. Yeah, it's really nice. She smiles and quickly waves her hand in front of her face. Lily, please. There's no need to be too formal. Oh, okay. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. That's because she's intelligent, Asao. Just because someone's intelligent doesn't mean they're just being super formal. You be a little bit more informal, just because she's not awesome like you. I guess I should try and ask her about herself. It really does seem as if she's catering to me. Although it's kind of weird, you just met her and you're kind of barging in, but I guess with a school like this, everyone's kind of friendly. I don't know, I wish my school was like this. So, which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes. Correct. I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor. I have to burp. Sorry. Which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi. and especially for both blind and partially blind students. Fucking Kenji, I fucking know what he's there. I see. You don't see, you dunce. I mean, sorry. I feel like slapping myself for that false pause. Fall pause. Looking at her face, though, she doesn't seem in the least put off by it. Maybe because she can't see that you're staring at her face. You got a little tear drop. I always loved when they do that in animes. Like, you got like the tear drop or like the pound sign above their head. It's kind of funny. My. There's no need to change your speech on my account. Okay, thank you. Sure, I guess I'm just really showing my newness here. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. While the same can't be said for everyone, many have come to terms with their conditions. A category which would include her, it seems. Ultra-rated jump ship from this particular topic, I segue into another. Do you come here to drink tea often? It's a really nice place, very calm, quiet, and, you know, maybe I won't have a heart condition here. Thinking on it, this might be the version of the place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunch times. My duties as class representatives don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend and I use this room for having tea. Fucking love that friend. Me and that friend had a good time together. We did some things. We did some dirty things. Class representative, huh? That's pretty impressive. Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune's blunt and fiercely driven, Lily seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. I think it has something to do with the hair. Shizune's got the dark hair, the black, purplish hair. She's got the evil, you know, the dark nature of the soul. While Lily's got the bright hair, the blonde, the radiating, the lustful. And she radiates goodness and purity. And that's why I have to screw Lily. For science! And for purity. Although I don't think I'm going to be going down that path, my friends. I think I may be traveling down the Emmy path, or the Rin path, and then casually segueing into Lily, not into her, more like into her story, not physically, and, you know, do her, god damn it, and choose her path later. That way we can get some segueing, some breaking up of the Hanako story, because we just spent a while doing Hanako in that story, and they're kind of combined. So I want to veer right. I want to go right off into another feeling, and then come back. We may do that. That's what I'm feeling so far, for those that keep asking. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view of the school's clubs. What clubs are there to join? I know I'm just using you to find out information, and we just met, but I need to know this information. The more popular ones are the track and field club, which uses the field during the school during lunchtimes. Well, I can't do that. The baseball club, and the book club in the room near the library. There are also numerous small ones too, though, such as art and music. At a time when I'm just wanting to get on my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if a school shares the same rules as my old one. Is it compulsory to join a club? Compulsory, for those that don't know, means is it mandatory? Mandatory, for those that don't know, doesn't mean do I have to? For those, you know, that don't know. It isn't, though it is encouraged. Well, if it's not compulsory, it's not for me, huh? That's a goddamn relief. Really let down my guard around this girl and let such a thing slip out. The fact seems slightly amuse her. Now wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it, and Lily does the same. Ooh. As I look over to the window over her shoulder, I notice a light coming into the room, a distinctly orange tint. Even time stands still when we're in this room. Well, the time's gone quickly. I don't have any more tea, neither do you, so let's say we go back to your room. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see something. I didn't... Fuck, see, I told you! There needs to be a way to tell time for the blind. With nothing that's audible, just something visual. Although, visual's hard. Something sensatory. Sensing.